This is the board game version of our digital game for GD4, which is Hotel Homicide. Okay, so in Hotel Homicide, there are two players. One player is going to play as the killer, and he's a killer in the hotel who has just committed a murder, and he's on the run. And the other player is going to play as the detective who is trying to capture the killer, but he doesn't really know his identity. And the killer could be represented as any number of potential occupants of the hotel, being either guests of the hotel or even staff members that work there. So the killer's main objective in order to escape is he or she has this body that they have to deal with, and as you can see labeled along here, there are different methods in which you can dispose of the body, and in order to dispose of the body properly, you need to collect every card in the stack that is located underneath that disposal method. The detective will have some options to, or some moments in the game where he can find out who the killer is based on these traits here. In order to correctly win the game, or in order to win the game as the detective, you have to correctly identify the killer's gender, their color of the outfit that they're wearing, their name tag, if they have any accessories, and the length of their hair, and their role, which is either as a guest or a member of the hotel. Okay. So players are going to have like a memorized list of all the different traits that the killer could use. It's not random, it's selected from a bank so that the guesses are at least somewhat restricted in the sense that the game can be solved. And then also there's a memorized list of all the different locations and things where things can be found in the game.
If the roll is 6 or below, then the killer does not need to announce what pile they draw from. If it's a 7 or 8, the killer must truthfully say which pile they drew from. And if it's an 8 specifically, then the killer must announce how many cards left are in the pile they drew from. Every 2 rounds, the detective has the opportunity to ask a question of the killer, a yes or no question. If the answer is yes or no, the detective takes a hint to be able to dictate what potential attributes the killer has. Every 3 rounds, there are time-specific events that the killer must achieve in order to successfully complete a disposal method. Is there anything I'm missing from that? No?
No, let's just demonstrate it. Okay, so are you still recording? Okay, so the detective's going to go first. He's going to go ahead and roll. So he got a 4. So in this case, it goes from the detective's roll to the killer's turn every time, and the killer can choose from any pile that they want, but they do not have to announce what pile they're drawing from. All right. So now we're going to start round 2. So now we're going to go back to the detective, and the detective gets to announce at the beginning of every other round, so every even-numbered round, a question that they have in mind for the killer as to what traits they might have.
Yes or no, are they male?
No, they are not.
Okay. So now round 2 continues with the detective's roll.
6.
6. So you can go ahead and draw. Alright. Okay, so because it's round 3, the killer has an additional stack that he or she can draw from, which is going to be this stack here that says 11 p.m. These cards are only available on that specific round, but they are necessary to complete certain disposal methods or methods of disposing the body. Also, it's important to note that depending on the killer's role in the game, they can only win if their disposal method matches their role, and each role has 2 possible disposal methods. So this will indicate to the detective which disposal methods might be necessary for them to complete based on which deck they draw from. So let's go ahead and go for round 3. So it is now the killer's turn to either decide whether or not they need any of the cards that might possibly be in the round 3 deck, the 11 p.m. deck there, or maybe they might have a quest that they need that's not related. If you play this game enough times, you'll start to memorize which specific, and it is the same specific cards that are in each round. So it's looking like Tomas is going to not choose to draw from the round 3 pile this round. So that lets the detective know that maybe that's not something that he needs in order to win, and indicates what quest he might be on. So we're going to go ahead and go back to round 4 now, which is an even number round. So Kevin can go ahead and throw out a guess, or not a guess, a yes or no question about the killer's identity.
Is the killer wearing blue? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Killer is wearing blue. Okay, so now we're going to skip forward to round 9. This is a situation in which the detective has a pretty strong guess as to who might the killer be, and so we're going to go ahead and start with a roll. It's round 10. Sorry, round 10. So you can go ahead and roll.
7.
I'm sorry, it is round 9. It's round 9. It's round 9. So this is the last card that the killer needs in order to win. He has all in his stack. All he has to do is wait out and not have his identity guessed by the end of round 10 in order to win. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start round 10, and the detective gets one last guess.
Okay, my last guess for the killer. Are you wearing a name tag? Yes or no?
No.
No?
Okay, so we'll go ahead and write it down in the description.
No.
Alrighty, and so that's enough for the detective to guess the role of the killer. So in order to properly win the game by arresting the killer, you have to name the role that the killer is playing as in the game, and also all of his attributes. So Kevin, you can go ahead and...
Okay. Your role is a guest because your gender is a female. You have a name. You don't have a name tag. You're not wearing an accessory, and your hair is long, so you have to be one of the guests. And your outfit is blue.
You are correct.
Okay, so Tomas got arrested here. He's going to jail. And that's
Detective wins the game.
Mhm. Okay, let's just say, for example, that Kevin guessed incorrectly, then the killer would win. Or also, if Kevin decided not to guess because he knows that he does not have enough information to win and would lose automatically, and that there's a possible chance that It's really unlikely, but there's a possible chance that Tomas doesn't have enough cards to actually win. Let's just say he says nothing. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the cards that we have left here, and we'll see. Is this all of them? That he does have all of the things he needs to win. And you can put it in the order here. So these are the cards that you need to dispose of the body via basically brewing an acid bath and melting the body in the bath. That's a good one. Yeah, so in this situation, Tomas wins and escapes as the killer and checks out of the hotel. And doesn't get caught. And that's the game.
GG's, Tomas. You won.